I'm running for the Senate because I think I'm a better fit for the seat.
The Democratic primary for District 11's Senate seat presents a number of questions for voters. One, including if they should consider seniority or generational turnover for the General Assembly. Current House delegate and Senator candidate Sally Hudson shared her thoughts on her position as a challenger in this upcoming election. She also shared why she thinks she's the perfect fit as District 11 Senator.
I think Senator Deeds is a very nice man, but I don't think he's the right guy for this seat right now. I wouldn't be running if I felt like Senator Deeds was in a position to engage with and represent all the many people that I care about in this community. I live here. And I know that that may seem like a small thing, but it's a big part of how you do the job. I don't think that you can pick up and move and set down in another community and be as connected as you have to be to do this job well. A big difference between us is I'm much more energetic about going out and building bridges and engaging more people in the legislative process. And that I think that affects how the work gets done. I think that it affects whose policy priorities you hear and what kind of projects you take on. And I think it has big impacts for elections too. A huge part of my campaign has been holding house parties up and down the district, just neighborhood front porches and backyards, talking with voters, 20 people at a time, about whatever questions are high on their list. And in the process, what we've done is engaged more than 1,400 people who've never had a chance to just sit down and talk with their state legislator. And now all of them know that they've got a chance to choose their next state senator, many of whom have no idea who it was before. And so for me, I think that's like a real proof positive of how many people can care about state government if we run candidates who want to do the work of pulling them in.
Sally addresses the role that District 11 has in the state and the lack of engagement from voters during state elections.
This seat has a very special job to do in Richmond. It's one of the progressive strongholds on the state Senate map, and it deserves to have a senator who is willing to set the pace for progress in Richmond on projects that have been on the back burner for far too long, like serious gun safety reform and combating the climate crisis. The first step is you got to run a competitive race between good candidates. I don't think that we can blame voters for checking out when no one's ever really out there earning their vote. Turnout drops by more than half between federal and state elections. And that means that we stand a worse shot of winning the races that it takes to get good policy passed. There's some people who think primaries are divisive, but I think these numbers tell you it's just the opposite. Primaries pull people into the process because they actually have a real choice to make. And I think that's so important. I think democracy works best at short distance where you can really get to know somebody personally. And I try to be really active about communicating with people on all the electronic platforms in a way that they can really understand.
Despite being the challenger, Sally shares her positive approach to this election season.
I don't think you can run for office unless you're running through the tape. I think that you got to believe that you can win the race and you do everything you can to get that done. And then you come up for air on the other side, you make next plans.
I'm Zoey Brooks, WUVA.